All right, y'all. Team call time. I have to go cook, so I have to keep this one short. I have like been nothing but brainstorming and writing things down all afternoon. It's been a really active day. Um, so I have our shirts for Summit. They are beautiful. Jessica did an amazing job on them, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hire her as like my permanent designer for the team and for future stuff because she's amazing and really detail oriented and just very good with design and picking colors intuitively. Like she's just really good at this shit. So I love her. So those are ready to go. Today is the topic that I want to talk about today, which was sharing our story. We've talked about this, I feel like, in different ways in the past, but I'm coming around to a new understanding of how to do this. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Oh yes, book club. So it is leadership is number 3 in the, so Go Giver Leadership is our book for next month. So if you guys can find that, I found it on my Nook for cheap. It's like $7 or something on my Nook. We're going to complete the Go Giver series. So after Go Giver Leader, it'll be Go Giver Influencer, which are the 4. And these books have been, so far they have been some of my favorite business books that I've ever read, like hands down. So I'm so glad that we're going through the whole series. Yeah, so that announcement, thank you for reminding me. So when it comes to sharing story, I thought about, like today I made a post, or it was yesterday I made a post about the 3 of us, we picked up our son from school, and then we went to get frozen yogurt. And at that frozen yogurt place, it was like nitrogen ice cream, which by the way, they had vegan nitrogen ice cream, like coconut milk based, which was awesome. And I was like super impressed because I'd never seen that at one of those places. Anyway, they had a machine where you could like take a picture on an iPad and they would print your photos. And I took a photo of the photo, basically. And I wrote about basically my struggles with honing a family, and my husband's struggle with honing a family. Like the fact that we both come from backgrounds that were really not super homey, loving, and comforting. And so us being together, trying to build that for our son has been really hard. And there's been a lot of setbacks, and there have been a lot of times where we feel like we failed as parents, and we failed each other, even in the way that we interact with each other. But it's been like the greatest lesson and learning of my life, to be able to like show up and coach myself and coach them and use that, not just professionally, but personally. And that picture and that post got so much traction. It got so much organic traction, so many comments. It's been one of my most successful posts. And it just reminded me of, number 1, the fact that people want to know about your story to some degree or another. Whatever you're ready to share, they really want to know about it, because people are out there struggling in their lives, thinking they are alone in their struggle, and then nobody gets them. And also, like in my case, when I posted that story, Jessica, actually the girl who made our shirts, she posted like thanking me for sharing that, because she has felt a lot of shame for the way that she's raised her kids, because she has felt like she's yelled too much or been too stern, because both of them come from really chaotic backgrounds as well. So she thanked me for talking about that and making that like a part of the parenting conversation, because in our new age parenting world, there's a lot of peaceful parenting talk, and people are like really like, don't yell at your kids and don't do this, which I understand. But when you come from backgrounds like I was raised, or my husband was raised, or she was raised, that's what's in your brain. That's how you know how to function. And so for you to override that is a fucking journey. And nobody's talking about that. Everybody's just like, stop yelling, talk to them. And I'm like, that doesn't fucking work. Like, you don't know how the brain works, right? So I've made it my journey to be really transparent about that part of my parenting. I talk about it a lot, and I don't try to make myself look good, and I don't try to like, I struggle, and I'm really real about that. And when I make those posts are when I get the most traction, the most views, the most comments, because everybody else is thinking the exact same thing. And I actually have a private client of mine who's a Beachbody coach who hired me for coaching and was like, you know, I'm going through menopause and I'm struggling with my weight. And like, that's why I haven't been posting like a transformation story and I haven't really been talking about anything because I feel like such a failure. And I was like, do you understand how many women are struggling with their weight at your age? Do you understand that that is a common thread that all of these women are living through, and you could be the voice piece for if you just owned your experience and talked about it? Talked about how you're still showing up, you're still working out, you're still mindful of your nutrition, even though you're having this struggle, because the goal for you is to feel good in your body, and you are simultaneously dealing with the psychological effects of noticing a body change that you're not ready to embrace. That's life, friends. That's the real shit. I think we become coaches, especially for like Beachbody, and we think we have to have a certain result or else we're not valid, or else we're not good enough or worthy of being hired as a coach. And we forget that there's so many people with our struggle that we have yet to even meet. And the only thing you're looking for is like a safe place to like go to and feel seen and heard. The majority of my clients coming into my fitness group, they don't fucking really care about the weight, man. One of them got diagnosed with cancer and she is shitting her pants. The other one has a very short-term health on her colon. She'll be in a colostomy bag by the time she's 40. She just needs to lose a little bit of weight to get the pressure off of her hips so she can fucking function. The other one has a binge eating so bad, it's making her crazy. These are real life problems that people are dying from and terrified of. And those stories matter as much as the girl who just wants to lose 20 pounds for her wedding. They all matter. And a lot of us are terrified of sharing any part of our story that isn't perfectly weight loss oriented or fitness result oriented, because we don't want to seem like a fraud. And what we're doing is we're devaluing all of the other reasons why people need us. We're completely devaluing all of the other reasons why we needed us. Why the fuck did we all come here? It wasn't just for weight loss. We needed each other. We needed community. We were fucking alone and struggling, depressed and anxious. Body wasn't working right. Isolated. Emotionally eating to the point of sickness. I mean, think about the growth that you've had just being a part of this community. That's so important. So important. So I think the message I want to leave for this conversation about sharing your story is, please don't devalue all the other reasons why fitness matters and why health matters. Don't try to hide your struggle. Your struggle is your gold. Because you know what? There's people out there with your struggle right now that aren't even fucking trying. There are people out there right now who can't seem to lose weight, and all they're doing is fucking sitting on a couch and stuffing their faces and not giving a fuck about it and dying of diseases that are preventable. There are also people who have body pain and all they do is sit around and pop opioids and complain about it. They don't try. They don't try to move. They don't try to change something in their nutrition. They don't participate in their communities. They don't try. They don't even know that's an option. And we do. We know it's an option because we're here, right? But I think we sometimes get all up in our heads and forget, like, we are a meta movement. We are not fit and sexy team. Not that there's anything wrong with being the fit and sexy team, but who the fuck are we? We're a meta movement. We're a movement of loving kindness, and we're that for a fucking reason. Because that's what we need. We need to be nicer to ourselves. We need to teach people how to be nicer to themselves. And we have tools to help with that. We have people to help with that. Yeah? Like, is this landing? Because this is real important. This has been really sitting with me for a while. Like, you know, we have coaches on our team like Sarah that have really amazing transformations, have gotten super fit and lost a lot of weight and look great, like Susie, who's gotten crazy fit and lost a lot of weight and looks great. And we have coaches like me who are really like, I lost my initial 35 pounds and I haven't had much of a weight change. like at all. And I've gained some of the weight back and I've dropped and I've, you know, I haven't been super hardcore consistent with every program that I've done. But that's not why I was doing it. I was doing it so I didn't lose my mind. Like that's why I was doing it. And that's my story. It's going to be different than Sarah's story. I'm not trying to run a marathon. Please catch me trying to do that shit. No, thank you. Not my goal in life. You know what I mean? I'm not Susie trying to work out 3 times a day. Hold up. No, thank you. Getting it done 1 time a day is enough work for my ass. You know what I mean? Like, I still want to eat cupcakes. I'm not trying to take all that shit out of my life. No, thank you. It ain't for me, you know? So part of this conversation is you got to know who you are. You got to own who you are and why you're here and not make it comparable to anybody else's story or try to make it like anybody else's story or try to imagine that the only reason people are going to want to work with you is because you look a certain way or because you whatever, you know? Can you guys relate to this? Have you guys been struggling with sharing your story because you're afraid of something?
Yeah, I'm trying to, rationalize it. So I always hated sharing. Like, when I started, like, I didn't want to put anything on social media because I was like, ugh, no one cares. I don't like it. But I have been trying to get better. And a lot of times I realize that posting fitness is great, but when I post other things, like when I ask for help, like when like, I don't know, it was silly. Like I had fruit flies. I don't even know if they were fucking fruit flies. I don't know, but they like swarmed my home, right? And I'm like going freaking crazy. And most people would be like, oh, I don't want to post this, that I have been attacked by bugs inside of my home. Like people will think like my house is dirty or something like that. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm being attacked inside my own home. What is happening? And I had so much response about, like, oh, try this or try this. Or I bet you don't want to use pesticides, use this. And it was such a warm, like, feeling of, like, and I did have that hesitation at first, like, no, who's going to care about this? Like, but, and the people that commented on it, that came out to, like, give me their feedback or, even just to be like, been there, like, were not people that had been liking anything else on my page. Mm-hmm. And so it seemed irrelevant at the time. It was helpful. I didn't need something from them. But sometimes we forget that too, that we're not just sharing our story for anyone. Like we can also use them to help us. Mm-hmm. And it goes both ways. And that also by them helping us, like that gets them engaged in our life again. And, like that full circle of giving and receiving. So it was a really sweet gesture of the different women that came onto my page to tell me just how to like get rid of this bug that had attacked me, but something so simple.
They just want to connect, whether it's giving you a suggestion or being like, girl, I totally feel you. I've been there with parenting or I've been there with it. Like people want to connect. Give them an opportunity to do that. Right? Like fucking fruit flies. And you're like, all this engagement. You're like, really? Like that's
I know.
It's like, yeah.
I mean, it's all it was. But then there are times when I sit back and I'm like today I didn't really post anything. I've kind of been in a funk, not really feeling that great. I'm transitioning a lot of things and like having like headaches from the, my thing is like if there's something I don't want or that is uncomfortable, I will cause physical like illness to myself to avoid said thing. And so I'm working through those feelings right now. So I haven't really posted much, but it's hard, I think, sometimes to see value in like my day to day. So like it's pretty boring, like get up, go to work, come home. I actually didn't even work out today because my class got canceled that I had originally planned to attend. My cat is like crying nonstop because she missed me. Like I do struggle to take some of that like mundane thing and turn it into something of value.
Okay. So maybe we should start with what you think about your life, which is that it's boring.
Yeah, like today's just Wednesday. Like it was just a day. You know what I mean? Like
That's your thought. That's your primary thought about your life. It's like, my life is unreportable. It's boring, right? And yet, do you know
or routine. I guess routine is a good word.
the number one trending videos on YouTube are people showing their daily activities in life.
That's true.
Like they wake up, fucking brush their teeth, drive in a car, literally. Like the number one trending video. People are fucking nosy. I think all of you need to understand this. It doesn't matter if you post the same Shakeology picture every fucking day in your stories. People are like, what you posting? They're gonna go watch because they have to. They have to see your house. They have to see your kid. They have to see what you're doing. Because by nature, we want to know the things. We're fucking investigators. We just want to see like, ooh, what's the paneling in your, what's that wallpaper in the background? What's your dog doing on the floor? Like, we are so nosy. And I can prove that to you because look at the most trending videos. What are they? Fucking people in their day-to-day doing stupid shit. You know, like, why do people watch this person drive every day doing the same thing, brush their teeth, take out the trash, like, and people are fucking eating that shit up. People are making money on YouTube from having videos of them brushing their teeth and taking out the trash. That is some shit. Like, if you ever wanted to understand how nosy we are. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I do the same thing. Like even as you're saying it, I'm just like, yeah, I need to know what.
Right? You do it? Of course.
I do.
Reality TV is a thing, right? Like, you watch reality TV.
Yeah, I'm obsessed.
I love it. In there. Right? It's true. But here the problem is that you have this association with your life being valueless. There's like this belief, like, my life is boring is like the primary thought. And the feeling that's attached to that is almost like unworthiness. Like, my life is boring, there's this unworthiness, and so the action is to kind of retreat and not really show and not really share, not really talk about it, and the result is there's not much connection because you're not really giving people anything to really connect with, right? But like sharing the fact that your cat is all up in your grill, annoying as hell, maybe taking a picture of her, like meowing at you. You know how many people can relate to that? People will be like, oh my God, every time I go out of town, I come back, my pets go crazy. I need to give my cat a Xanax, la, 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 la. Like, you will have so many people comment on that post because everybody that has pets knows the struggle. They know the struggle of coming back after a trip and either getting the silent treatment from their pet, like they don't fucking exist anymore and they died, or like being all up in their grill and being like super intense, right? So it's funny how I invite you to start thinking about yourself the way you think of other people. Like, what would I like to watch that other people post in their everyday life? Like, are there anybody you follow that you're like, oh, their dog is so cute, or their cat is so cute, or I want to know, like, where'd they go today? Like, Andrea's filming herself going to the crystal shop. Like, I'm gonna go to crystal shop, buy some crystals. Why do I care? But I do. I want to see that process. Right? Like, I'm going to the grocery store. Why do I care? But I want to watch, what is she buying? What's she doing in the grocery store?
Yeah, and then I'm going to buy the fucking nut milk that they bought too, because obviously I have to have it.
Exactly. So, like, really study yourself. And this is the best thing I can say about doing stories and sharing your story. Like, what do you like to watch? What do you like to watch? Because most of your clients are going to be a lot like you. They're going to have a lot of the same crossover as you. So you got to ask yourself, like, what do I like to watch? What do I look for? What catches my eye? What stops me? Right? For me, it's like really powerful posts. When I read someone that's sharing something that's really raw, I'm like automatically drawn in. Right? I'm drawn in because I'm like, oh, that's raw, that's deep, I like that stuff. Or if I see a really beautiful food dish, I'm like, I like food pictures, so I share food pictures because that's attractive to me because I fucking love food, right? Like, or I see a really cute kid and I'm like, oh my God, their kid's so cute, you know, like that's, so I share things that I know I'm drawn to, or good quotes, or funny memes, or things that would make me stop and be like, oh, this is amazing, or this is hilarious, or that's the stuff that I share. But I have studied myself. I've studied the things that make me stop and watch things. You guys, I don't really post like super creative posts every single day. Like my life is pretty much the same. I see massage clients, I coach people, I have a child, repeat. That is literally my life. It doesn't change, right? But every day I'm kind of finding like, what am I inspired to talk about today? Is it something funny? Is it something serious? Is my mind, like, is my heart hurting right now? Is the political environment really weighing on me? Is like this whole conversation about vaccinations really weighing on me? Like, where is my mind? Like, what is occupying my senses? And what am I thinking about that other people might be thinking about too? Right? Because every day you're not having the same thoughts. You might be living the same physical circumstances, but you're not having the same thoughts every day. You know what I mean? Like, just because you're living the same physical circumstances doesn't mean you're thinking the same things every day. You're thinking different things every day. Every day, some things are in the forefront, some things are in the background of your mind. That's your job. Your job is to figure out, where is my consciousness right now? What am I working on? What am I working through? What am I like growing through? And then pulling some nugget of wisdom out of that and making that something that you share. Can you guys at least acknowledge that even if your life is similar day to day, your thoughts are different, that you do think about different things and you don't have the same thing on your mind every day? That's what I do. That's how I share. It's like, what's on my mind today? When I took that picture of my family, that's what was on my mind. Was like, man, we've had to work really fucking hard to have a good family dynamic. It hasn't been easy for us. It wasn't handed to us, you know, and that was really present for me. So I wrote about that. Some days it's about body image because I'm really struggling to accept myself or to look at myself so I write about that. Some days it's, you know, every day it's different. Your mind is in a different place. So you don't necessarily have to share about circumstances in your life, the physical things. Share about what you're thinking. Share about what you're feeling. Share about your internal world. That stuff. Does that kind of clarify that some more?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Maybe you read something or you heard a podcast and you're like, boom, your brain just exploded. And you're like, you know, here's a great thing, and I do this often. If you find a great quote, like tag write a post on the quote, share the quote, hashtag that person's name. You're going to get all those people who are following that person to start following you or at them. They'll come over and find your post, like share bits of wisdom that are not necessarily yours. Like maybe you read it somewhere or you heard it somewhere, but your audience hasn't. They don't know. You know what I mean? Like, and you're supposed to be doing personal development. This is something that's supposed to be incorporated in your life. So I know for sure you have wisdom coming at you on a regular basis. So you should have like a font of information to pull from, right? So are you doing that? And just be like, assess yourself. Am I sharing from the wisdom that I'm learning? Am I sharing from what I'm synthesizing in my mind? Am I sharing my emotional experiences, my mental thought processes?
So I'm not sure if you guys follow him, but his name's Gary Vee.
Yeah.
So of course he was a wine critic, you know, like one of my favorite beverages. But now he's like, he's a speaker, he's a motivational speaker. He coaches a lot on internet, you know, he's an internet personality, like followers and entrepreneurship and all of this. And I want to say maybe it was yesterday, I was watching a post on his Instagram about the art of copywriting. And I thought that was important for sharing your story as well, because especially on Instagram, you know, what triggers you quickly is the pictures. And so what his story was saying is what the best internet, you know, personalities, people gaining followers, people actually getting the engagement that's valuable on their platforms are the ones that include copywriting. So like, for instance, what Shakti does when she posts, like she tells a story, she writes, she engages. It isn't always just the image. The image kind of captures their attention, but then it's what you write. And so he just went on this, you know, rant about, you know, making sure that you don't forget that in your storytelling. the pictures are awesome, yes, but also making sure that it backs it up. And I notice that sometimes in my posts, like I'll just post pictures and something short, but it might be something just about my day or something, but I don't know if it really has value. So I'm trying to like think of those things too. And Shakti is a great example of that, but listening
That's
to
what I
him
enjoy doing,
discuss it.
period, because that's how I connect to people. I have a hard time connecting with people if I don't like know about them. So I just again, I study like myself, and I'm like, I really don't care if your pictures are super nice if there's no depth to them. Like, and most of us on this team are the same way. Like, most of us on this team, there's a reason we're on the same team. Like, you know, I look at women who have really polished Instagrams and I'm like, that's nice. You know what I mean? Like, here I am in Venice and you're like, you know what I mean? You're like, that's great. What does that matter? You know what I mean? Like, what does Venice mean to you? Why did you take this picture? Do you feel like you look beautiful in it and you've struggled to feel beautiful in your pictures? Have you always dreamed about being in Venice and finally you're there and it feels like a dream come true? Did you have to make a lot of sacrifices to create the kind of life where you're standing in Venice? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, why did you share that picture? So every time you go to share, ask yourself that question. That's what copywriting is. It's like, why am I sharing this? Out of all the pictures I could be sharing, why this one? Out of all the stories I could be telling, why this one? Why does that matter to you? So like if you take a picture of you and your husband at brunch or coffee date, why is that so sacred for you? Like, why is the time with him where you guys get to experience that so important to you? What facet of that matters most to you, right? Like, I think that part is what we forget when we post. And I think a lot of people on Instagram, it started being about the image and the flash, and it is quickly losing its steam. And I mean fast. It is really going down the pipe. And I am seeing more engagement in my posts. Even if my followership isn't growing, my engagement is going up everywhere because my style hasn't changed. I've been doing the same kind of posting when it was unpopular, and now it just happens to be popular. Now people are like wanting to read, you know? But in general, I think if you want to create a quality following, people that are eager to like support you and be in your world and love on you, the more that you get to tell about who you are and why you share the things you share, the more you get to build that with them. I think that's what Gary Vee meant. And it matters. It makes a huge difference. I just saw that you shared the book club book in the group and I made an announcement. That link is so long.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's just the Amazon link.
I know, it looks crazy.
Does it work?
Yeah, it does work.
Mm-hmm. I Amazon weird. I don't know.
Do you guys have any questions about storytelling? Like anything else that you want clarification on?
I just need to practice.
Yeah, and post it in the team. So if you're going to share something that might be a little bit vulnerable for you, go into the team page and be like, hey, I want to share a story about this. This is how I'm sharing it. Do you guys have any feedback for me? Like, how do you feel when you read this? Does this feel relatable? Does it feel warm? You know, blah, blah, blah. Let us help you by reading what you're going to post before you do that if you're nervous about it. Same thing with making a live video. If you're going to make a live video or record a video and you're nervous about sharing it, film the video, post it on our team page, ask for feedback from the people that love you and support you. Like, don't just throw yourself out there and have a panic attack trying to do a live video. Like, you have a whole team of people that can watch this and tell you, like, here's some feedback. Maybe you want to say this. Maybe you want to talk about this, blah, blah, blah. Like, help us make you a better professional. That's the whole point of having a team, you know? So whether it's writing a post or video, same thing.
I don't know if I'm necessarily nervous to share. I think I've kind of gotten through that situation. I think it's more of valuing my perspective and what I can offer, and then really practicing sharing that more regularly.
Easy way of doing that is once a day. when you have a thought about something specific, share it. Whatever that is. I saw this movie and it was amazing. Here's why.
A lot of times too, what I do, because I don't always have time to like post, thought out things, during the day. So I take pictures of it and, kind of like write down my idea, and then I need to go back to do it. And I think that some of my is just the follow through.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I scroll through my phone now, like my images, I'm like, oh, well, I never really did anything with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually going to like put it on my calendar, like an actual like timed task.
Yes.
To like sit and do an activity with it to make sure I don't miss that opportunity.
Amen. With you. Totally. All right, friends. Well, this was really all I wanted to talk about, storytelling. We've talked about storytelling many different times, but this particular kind of message of you really being authentic with your story and not trying for it to be anything other than what it is, and knowing that every effort that you give to living a better quality life is a worthy effort. And there are people out there who need that. They need to know that they have the option of living a better quality life. And you have that, and you know that. So please, please don't hide from them. Because if you're hiding from them, you can't help them. That's what it is. Okay? So I'm going to leave us with that. Again, the book is on our page. It's marked as an announcement. You have a week and a half or so to get it, or a week now. So all of next month, we'll be taking chapters from that book, and we'll be doing team calls on that book. If you struggle to see yourself as a leader, if you don't understand leadership, if you're someone who's like, I don't think I'm a leader, I can't lead people, and that's been holding you back from growing a team or from getting clients to work with you, you need to read this book and you need to participate in this book. Trust me when I say these books are amazing. Every single one we've read from the series has been life-changing and really eye-opening, and you will walk away with it with more confidence, for sure. All right, so I will see you, Sable, very, 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 very soon. And for the rest of y'all, I will see you July now.
We are one team call away.
I know. All right, my loves. Bye.